Hey guys, so today we'll be taking a look at how the state of Georgia is now a Biden state on the 2020 electoral map. The state of Georgia is now polling in favor of Joe Biden, has been for quite a while now. However, 538 has moved the state of Georgia into the Biden column for the first time in the 2020 race. This is the first time Georgia is now a Biden state on the 538 forecast. Before we get into that, make sure you join my Discord server if you have not, that I launched a couple of days ago. We're doing a Nitro giveaway right now, so make sure you join so you don't miss out on that. The link is at the very top of the description below. So taking a look at the 538 forecast, this is the forecast that got every single state correct in 2012. In the 2012 election between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney, the 538 forecast was able to predict every single state and the margins 100% correctly. There was not a single state that was off on this forecast. And so right now, they predict that the state of Georgia is going to go to Joe Biden. And that is substantial because this state, if we take a look at the numbers here, this is a state that has never been projected to go to the former vice president. I mean, it is still a 50-50 right now, but Georgia has a slight edge right now for Joe Biden. And the chances of victory here, as you can see, Joe Biden, for the first time, is now above Donald Trump, as you can see right there. His number is higher than the president's. And even when Joe Biden peaked in the state prior to this in June and July, his margin never reached 50%. He peaked at around 46% in late June. After that, got much better for Donald Trump, especially in August and September. However, as we enter the month of October with less than 3 months or 3 weeks to go, just 3 weeks, that's scary to think about if you're President Trump, but with just 3 weeks to go until election night, Joe Biden is doing better than ever, and popular vote, Joe Biden is also overtaking President Trump for the first time in this election. And taking a look at the poll specifically is what I really want to take a look at. Joe Biden plus 1.2% on average. However, as you can see that poll right there by Quinnipiac right there. See, that is a Biden plus 7% poll. He's at 51% over President Trump. Quinnipiac is a B plus rated pollster with a sample size of 1,040 likely voters. Joe Biden plus 7%. Survey USA puts Biden up 2%. It's an A-rated pollster. Data for Progress says that it's an even race. But Joe Biden plus 7% in a poll out of a state that Donald Trump won by almost 6% in 2016. It's just a huge shift to the left. This is a state that is a traditional Republican state. I mean, if you were to take a look at the history of the state of Georgia, the electoral history, we will say that this state has voted with the GOP in the last 6 elections. Since 1996, Bill Clinton was able to win it in 1992. After, of course, Reagan won it in 84 and Bush won it in 88. This is the home state of Jimmy Carter. So Jimmy Carter was able to win this state in 1976, and then Carter won it again in 1980 when he lost in a landslide to Ronald Reagan. But I mean, the numbers here for the GOP is decreasing. They are seeing smaller and smaller leads here in the state of Georgia, and this huge shift right here after the 1960 election. This was when LBJ became president after the assassination of JFK, and he signed the Civil Rights Act, which it did definitely shift the voters to the right in the South. That's why the South is still a Republican region when it did used to be some solid Democratic states. I mean, for over a century, this state voted with the Democratic Party, and then the Democrats were definitely able to gain states in the North, but they lost their hold on the South after the Civil Rights Act was signed in the 1960s. So the state of Georgia is typically a Republican state, has been for the last couple of decades. However, now Joe Biden has a very, very good shot at flipping this state. But if we were to take a look at how most people view the state right now, according to the betting odds, Joe Biden has a 45% chance of winning the state to President Trump with 57. Now, this is not actually bad for Donald Trump. I definitely expected some lower numbers for the president, but a 57% chance of winning the state really isn't too horrible. But I mean, considering that he was all the way up at 68% before the debate, this is horrible for the president. I mean, he dropped down to 63 on the day of the debate. Afterwards, he continued to fall all the way down to 57%. And then after Trump caught COVID, it dipped all the way down to 55%. Now his numbers have come up to 59. However, the new data for today has not been updated, so Joe Biden would see an increase all the way up to 45%. from the 41% he was up yesterday. I think that the volume is going to be pretty large for today because Joe Biden plus 7% in a poll out of the state of Georgia. I think that is substantial. That is definitely a huge warning for Donald Trump that he really does need to spend a lot more time and money in this state. I mean, taking a look at the polls, Donald Trump hasn't led in any of these polls. I mean, he led by one of them by Morning Consult just a couple days ago, but Biden plus one in a public policy poll. So it's been really back and forth, but Donald Trump doesn't have a strong or clear lead even in Georgia. I mean, his polling average is literally lower than the former vice presidents. Although I do think that Donald Trump is still favored to win this race. I think Joe Biden, if he would have really put a lot of time and money into the state in the last couple of weeks until the election, I think definitely it's still possible. But of course, we do have to take into account voter suppression, which, as unfortunate as it is going to occur in the South. Donald Trump did this in 2016. There's no doubt that he's going to do it again, and you can call it whatever you want. It is technically not illegal, but it's just not right to get people to purposely not vote, using voter suppression tactics. And I mean, in the Democratic Party in California, they are literally placing fake drop-off boxes for people who are trying to drop off their votes, and they are literally placing fake ones to confuse voters. And I mean, it's not illegal in the state of California, but they are definitely exploiting this. And I mean, I think that everybody can agree that that is not right. If you're a Republican and you support something like this, I mean, how would you feel if the Democratic Party in your state were to place fake ballot boxes when all of your, everybody you knew was dropping off their ballots? I mean, that's just not right. And, they're, receiving a lot of criticism for that. I don't even know why they did that. I mean, the GOP is not going to win California. So really, I really don't understand. But, some of the local elections definitely, it could benefit the GOP in those certain areas. But the state of California, we're going to just move on from that. But the entire southern region of the United States is moving to the left. I mean, Georgia, as you can clearly see, is. North Carolina has also been polling in favor of Joe Biden for the entire election cycle, a state that the Democrats have not won since 2008. The state of Florida is also moving to the left. I mean, this is a predominantly Republican state. It does vote for Democrats, definitely. And it's not rare for the state of Florida to vote for the Democratic candidate. However, mainly it does still vote for the Republican candidate. And as we saw in 2016, Trump won this state by 1.2%. This time around, Trump has lost a lot of support from the senior voters in this state. He does have the Latino support, more support for him than 2016, and Joe Biden definitely has less support from Latinos than Hillary Clinton did in 2016, which I think is actually pretty surprising. But with Joe Biden not picking a Latino or Hispanic vice presidential nominee, I think he definitely did not improve his support with those voters, which are pretty crucial in states like Arizona and Texas. But state of Florida is still doing pretty good because Joe Biden is raking in that senior vote, which he's doing very, very well in. Even among women, Joe Biden's doing better among women than Hillary Clinton was in 2016. And that really goes to show that people did not want Hillary Clinton as the president 4 years ago. And so taking a look at this map, Donald Trump is in huge, huge trouble. For Donald Trump not to win the state of Georgia, for Joe Biden to win Georgia, Donald Trump can basically not win this race. He would have to win literally every other state on this map if he wanted to win this election. If Biden wins Florida, Donald Trump needs to win every other toss-up state. And, I'm just going to fill in the states that Joe Biden's leading in. And it is basically all of them except for Texas. He leads in Arizona, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia. This is the polling map right now. These are all the blue states are states that Joe Biden leads in polling in. And all the red states for president from 374 to 164. That is definitely not a good look for the current president. I mean, Joe Biden leads by over 10% nationwide. That is substantial. That is a huge, huge lead in terms of, in modern terms. I mean, Barack Obama led by 7% at his peak over John McCain in 2008, and he won 365 electoral votes. Joe Biden now is plus 10%. That is 3% more than Barack Obama, who won in a landslide. I think that, we can all agree that the 2008 election was a landslide for Barack Obama in terms of the popular vote and the electoral college. But Joe Biden is now outperforming Barack Obama in the national numbers. He is not doing as well in some swing states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania as Obama did in 2008. He won many of these states by solid margins, but still, Joe Biden doing much better than Clinton in 2016, who never even reached a 5% lead nationwide. And I mean, George W. Bush never saw this kind of lead. I think the last candidate that we really could have reasonably seen had a 10% lead was Bill Clinton, I believe. So all of these states are just performing so well for Joe Biden. I mean, the trend in the South is, and the Rust Belt in general, or not Rust Belt, the Sun Belt in general, is that it is moving towards the left. I mean, Arizona is now expected to go to Joe Biden, a state that the Democrats have not won since 1996. California, very solid. New Mexico and Colorado, I'm included as well. But these two states used to be Republican strongholds, and now they are Democratic states. Utah is not as close as it was before. It's a lot closer than it was before. Nevada also has shifted quite a bit to the left. Texas, I mean, a state that the GOP has won since 1980 every single time after Ronald Reagan flipped it from Jimmy Carter's victory in 1976. The state has not gone to a Democrat since then, but the state of Texas, Donald Trump leads by less than 2% here. So this is very, it's a huge warning for the GOP that they really need to be more inclusive and stop alienating voters. I mean, they are really they're making their base really enthusiastic for them, that 42% of voters, but nationwide, they're just, the other voters, Democratic voters, the undecided voters, the independent voters, they're not gaining any support from those kind of voters. I mean, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, these are the deepest of the southern states, and these states are not even solid for Donald Trump. This is quite shocking. I mean, I was really surprised to see this. These states are states that went to the president by very, very solid margins in 2016, and now they're not even solid for the president. I mean, Georgia currently expected to go to Joe Biden. I mean, on blue Georgia, that's something that we haven't seen in almost 3 decades. The state of Florida is now basically out of reach for Donald Trump, in my opinion. He would really have to do something pretty special there. He did have a rally there a couple days ago, but that's really not going to help him too much. North Carolina, same thing. The Rust Belt is actually moving towards the left, but in 2020, it's going to see a huge shift to the right. So the state of Florida, I also want to take a look at this state as well. I mean, Biden plus 4%, he's at 49%. Once Joe Biden's at 50%, I think that his chances of winning in that state are really, really high. Because as we saw in 2016, Clinton matched her polling average. Donald Trump just improved on it so much. I mean, President Trump basically won all of the undecided voters in 2016, while Clinton lost all of them in the last couple of days until the election. So Biden plus 4% at 49% in Florida. Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton never hit 49%. North Carolina also 49%. Joe Biden at 3.2% over the current president in North Carolina. I mean, this is the largest lead he's seen this entire election cycle. So this is, again, very positive for the Biden campaign. They really are doing a very good job at being able to win over the voters in the South. I mean, the state of Iowa, Biden plus 0.6% again. The state that Trump won by 9%, Biden now leads in. Ohio, state that Trump won by 8%, Biden leads in the state as well, plus 0.3%. So these are all states that Trump desperately needs, and a state that Biden does not. I mean, Biden doesn't even need Georgia. And I think that if Georgia would have flipped, definitely I would see Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin flipping at least. We might even see Ohio and Iowa. So 350, that would be a landslide election in favor of the former vice president. So that's the race at this point. Georgia has now flipped to the Democratic Party on the 5-3 forecast, which is pretty substantial because Georgia has been on the Biden column for quite a while now, and 530 has been pretty reluctant to give Joe Biden the state of Georgia this entire time. However, now Georgia, for the first time ever, is a Biden state on this forecast. So that will be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like down below. Subscribe to my channel if you have not. Also, join my Discord server if you haven't. It's at the very top of the description below. Don't miss the events that are going on there. As well as that, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and along with any suggestions for videos you'd like to see from me in the future. And I will see all of you guys in the next video.